Welcome back to BawseCrew.
Hello, 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 people.
Oh, party people.
Yes, party people. Love it. So, we got some juicy subjects coming in lately, and today's juicy subject is cloud security.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to
Okay.
discuss how to make sure your cloud is secure and why it's important because with everything being backed up into cloud, it's becoming a bigger thing versus on premise. And there's so many different security protocols that go into it. So, who wants to start off?
Well, let me try to shoot my leg. So, cloud security. What is cloud security? Um, so it's basically the exact same path to security and to being secure online. The only thing is you're applying it to your cloud environment. The same thing about data protection, access control, um, preventing, um, defending your system against cyber threats. It's all about network security,
Mm-hmm.
um, because you are still monitoring loggings and breaches, you know. So, the same thing. And so, in other words, you could say it's all about um, a group or set of different policies and regulations, procedures to protect your cloud-based system or cloud-based environment.
Yes, yes. And there's a lot that goes into it, and we're going to discuss some of the benefits and the different types of cloud security. What are some of the models of computing specifically? And again, a lot of our my information today is going to be coming from, can you guess it? So throwing that out there because we all know I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. So
I think that's a great time to let them know.
yes, yes, yes. There's never a wrong time to join Triacme, especially if you're
Oh,
trying to get into this field. Even if you're already in this field, they have so many new rooms coming out. But I digress. I digress. We're talking about cloud security today. So, some of the reasons, I'm just going to throw this out there. Some of the reasons people are choosing cloud security, one of the biggest reason is the cost effectiveness because there's plans out there where you can literally use or literally pay for what you use. So,
Yeah.
if you're using and I'm throwing random numbers out there, so don't quote me on this. If you're using 1 gigabyte of backup storage for your systems, then you might be paying like $20 a month. That's not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. And your security just adds on to whatever security the service that you're buying from has. That's the other part of it because there's so many different ones out there. Azure, AWS, they're the biggest ones. There's Centennial One, there's IBM. I can go on and on. I'm not going to, but I could because everybody has a system for for the biggest growing part for companies, whether you're small, whether you're big, you're growing. And that's the best part about growing businesses is having that cost effectivity when you just pay as you go.
Yeah.
Um, Scalability, simplicity, and enhanced automation.
if I could jump
Okay.
in for a second, I
Yeah,
think
of course.
one of the things that attract uh major companies with cloud, the use of cloud is the shared responsibility.
Yeah.
So you have a the cloud provider is responsible for like the model. Um, the security of the data or whatever information is being provided, and then the customer, right? The customer, company, whoever may have, um, they're going to secure all the application stuff of all of his data, the workloads, all of that's going to be done in the cloud. They'll manage the identity. It's in the accessibility, access controls. I'm sorry, of the cloud. And I think for like a major company, let's take a major. What? Give me, tell me something.
Microsoft.
Okay, on Microsoft.
Listen,
Just say it. Just say it.
Okay. Wow.
Ty was like, I wasn't expecting that now.
Uh, but no, let's take a, I don't know, maybe a company that
You
um
want to take Chick-fil-A?
takes, okay, well, we could use Chick-fil-A, and let's say Chick-fil-A is probably, excuse me, in this day and age, they need to start storing, I don't know, maybe that secret Chick-fil-A recipe, right? You
yeah.
don't want to keep it on site. You don't want to keep that written document of that recipe on site no more, because
Mm-hmm.
people get sticky fingers and they want to run stuff through the copier nowadays. They want to scan it. But yeah, um, as an example, Chick-fil-A, there's information about Chick-fil-A that they want to keep stored in a very secure location other than on its premises. And this data needs to be protected somewhere. So this is where a cloud environment comes into place, where a Microsoft, Azure, AWS,
Google
what's
Cloud.
another? Yeah, they can get them as a provider,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they'll provide the security. They'll set up the environment for them to store all of this information, all this data. They'll keep it secure. And all Chick-fil-A on this end just has to do is just secure the application, setting it up,
Mm-hmm.
all the workloads, who's going to have access to it,
Mm-hmm.
managing any identities that's going to have access to it and why they may have access to it. So the cloud security has become, I think, a very I think I can remember the time when we first heard the word cloud. Everybody was like, "What is this cloud? Where's this
Mm-hmm.
cloud at? Where can I find this cloud?" And people walking around looking up in the air,
Yep.
right? Like it's up in the
Is it
cloud,
floating
right?
above my
that
house?
was that was
Listen,
all the
yeah.
joke. So
Yep.
all my information is up there, right? It's up
Mm-hmm.
there. Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. Right? It's up in the heavens somewhere. So this is where we're at. And now to really, I think we've evolved to a point of understanding of what the cloud does for us. And
Mm-hmm.
I think kudos to those who created these cloud environments as well as making this understandable to the common person of what it does, why it's important, and it gives you the understanding of, okay, if I have too much here, I can move some of this from off of my plate.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just use something in a more figurative sense, I could take some of this off my plate and I'm gonna put it on this plate, but I'm gonna push it over here and they're gonna keep this warm and safe for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
when I'm ready to eat it. And now I could maybe work on this little bit that I have on my plate right
Mm-hmm.
here. And then when I want some more, I could go get that other plate that's been warm and safe. It's heated up already. I don't got to do anything, and I go scrape
Mm-hmm.
a little bit back onto my plate and eat a little bit. So when thinking about the responsibilities and some of the models of cloud, well, I can get into the models, but I just the responsibility aspect of it. That's what cloud does for you. If people are kind of wondering, like, what does this thing actually do for me? Well, that's what it
Mm-hmm.
does for you. It allows you
And
to take some stuff off your plate.
the whole time you were talking, all I could think about is Plankton trying to steal a Krusty Krab secret recipe. And all I could think about is if it was in the cloud, Karen could have stolen it so much easier than Plankton ever could have it from the Krusty Krab. Just, I'm just saying. Throwing that out there.
No,
Just
hey,
okay.
no.
Like, cause she was much smarter than he was. Let's face it. Like,
I like that. I like that. But yeah,
so.
there's
But
yeah, I think another another aspect that companies like I think that is useful with the cloud is that you also get the help of you don't have to worry about certain policies and regulations also. So that's one thing too, because once you start being online and everything, now as time goes, as we are people are getting hacked, threats are evolving. Well, the defense side of it too also evolved, and now like today, we do have. What I mean by today, I don't mean like 2024, but we have organizations like NIST, um, CIS that are here that are putting regulations to make sure that businesses and people are safe online and they're following certain protocols. And using a cloud environment means that you don't have to keep up with all that things for your
oh,
website, for your organization online. So especially like Azure, Microsoft takes care of everything for you.
Mhm.
And I know all of them do. I just talk about Azure because I'm using Azure. So um especially that if you have something that is not on point, that is not compliant, it will let you know to use it and redeploy if you have to, if needed. So yes, money, security, definitely money. That's number one because like Tyrell said, it's it's not cheap, it's not cheaper. It depends on the situation. But most
Mhm.
of the time, way we organize the stuff or we run our stuff or systems, running the servers yourself might cost you way more. You know, having that you start with one computer and the next thing you know, you're going with two, you're going with three, and then at the end,
Mhm.
remember not just you're not you just you're not just keeping maintenance, doing maintenance on those things, making sure that their servers are running well, but you're also using electricity and all of that gets into your spending. Um, so when you go online, when you decide to go to upload half of your database or system to the cloud, you get to choose either pay as you go, like Bidney mentioned earlier. So if I'm not gonna use that every day, then I don't have to have it on my on-premise servers because I keep on my on-premises server um the things that I know that are more crucial for my organization. And then I think those things I leave it into a provider and then I have them I go to them every time I need it. Listen, hey, I need to use I don't know, you have a software or you have a full database that you only go to into it every month, every 2 months, but it has stuff that are very important in it that you don't want anybody to get. So you upload that on the cloud, and then every time you want it or you need it, you go on to your provider and you say, "Hey, listen, I need access to it," and
Mhm.
for like 2 3 days, and for those 2 3 days, you run it, and then you pay for it. After that, you close it, and it's good. Other companies too prepay certain stuff, so you also get to prepay for, let's say, for a year how much workload that you're gonna get, and then you say, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna take a plan for a year because I know that's what I'm gonna pay for a year." You pay that up front, and then for the rest of the year, you don't have to worry about paying for it. You only worry about next year payment. So all of that come into it, and something else. Like today, you realize that you guys can see um how frequent it is for people or companies to get hacked. So that's another thing that you don't have to worry about most likely because you're not 100% secure. But if something happened, you don't need to have the incident response team. Someone else has it, and they are putting in the work for you because that's what you that's what you actually told them to do by
Mhm.
giving them your data, your servers.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's also a good point. So it helps you save money. So you have this whole team working for you without you hiring people for governance, without you hiring people for an incident response team. Of course, you're gonna to be on the safe side of it. You as you're growing your company, you'll need in-house teams for
Mhm.
those. But just starting, I believe that if you're just starting, and you have the workload for it, then it's definitely a great way. And with the development of the web right now and the systems right now, I think it is just a matter of time before people go fully on cloud. I believe it because right now the most popular cloud environments are hybrid cloud environments, and I believe it's just a matter of time. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of time.
Mhm. I agree. It's getting bigger and bigger, and I think more and more companies are choosing to switch because of these reasons. There might be some kind of resilience for some pointers of the for cost
Effectiveness.
effectiveness,
Mhm.
yes. That some companies might not, but as cloud is kind of transforming, it's becoming more and more cost effective because there's all these new plans that are coming out with different
Yeah.
companies trying to give all the small companies as well as the big companies a chance to say, hey, yeah, this is an affordable way for me to have my
Yeah.
information be secure.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think in today's I think in this modern society that we live in this ever changing diagram of technology, excuse me, in and out of spaces, I think any business, big, small, um, sh- you should have some form of cloud of storage set up. Even if you're the small company and you start, let's use the coffee shop. They may think,
Mhm.
oh, I don't need this right now, but you do need it, right? Because as you hiring people, you're collecting information about that people because you got to pay them. So we're talking
Mhm.
about payroll, right? So where do we
Mhm.
keep our payroll? Where do we keep our tax documents when we have to file taxes for our business, or when we
Mhm.
get an audit on certain things? We get these invoices coming in. We can't keep,
Yeah.
yeah, we could probably keep it all stored on a laptop, but something happens to that laptop, boom, everything is gone, right? Because
Yep.
most small businesses stick with the coffee shop. You're not thinking about let me get some sort of backup system for this laptop if it crashes, right? That's the last thing you're thinking about. And then
And
you're trying to implement everything, right? Everything to a system that makes it easy to run. You want to be able to open up or go to the register and not even the register, the monitor, and be able to type in what do you want a latte, mocha, something, and you be able to hit a button. It shows, okay, this is how much. Do you want this added? Okay, we click that button. You want all of that automated. So now, as you are starting to build this inventory of the what coffees are probably being ordered on a daily basis, how do I inventory for that? This way, I'm making sure I'm getting the right things in my shop or whatnot. You can't. You could, but again, something happens to that laptop. Where's this stuff going? So you need to
Mhm.
create a system, even in a small business. And again, when people start these small business, these things are offered, right? So
Yeah.
an all-inclusive phone system. Let's use Verizon, and they'll probably offer you a cloud system included on top of that phone
Yeah.
package. And you'll probably, let me see, a small business. What are you probably going to get? Platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, one of those
Oh,
two, maybe.
your
Maybe.
PAS probably will work better.
Okay. So you're going to get that, and that's what you're going to use. So now, if anything happens to that laptop, guess what? Everything has been stored in the cloud. You didn't lose anything
Mhm.
because every night everything is backed up and is sent over to the cloud. Anything happens to that laptop, you go into that cloud infrastructure, you pull everything back down, boom, it's right there. So in our, as I said, in our growing, changing data structure of technology in the world. I'm gonna just say the world, not even just in society, in the world. Uh,
Mhm.
it's probably recommended, even in small businesses, to get a small cloud account. And like you said, it's being offered at a very low cost for small businesses that you don't even feel the pinch. Probably something that as low as maybe what 50, maybe $70 a month
Mhm.
is what they're probably paying to manage that. And it's so much. And if you start to run out of capacity, that cloud storage is going to let you know you need to upgrade because
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
running into capacity, right? So you're going to upgrade, and it's going to maybe cost you a few more bucks as a small business. What's I don't know, what's $89 now a month? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't even
Mhm.
see that because you're probably making over $89 in a week's time, right?
Yeah.
Probably in a
Or
day.
in
So
a
that
day.
it doesn't even hit you.
Yeah.
So a cloud environment is becoming almost like a constant now. I mean, even us three probably sitting here right now, we we all have some form of cloud environment. I know on my phone I have a cloud environment set up
Yeah.
in my
Mhm.
iOS. So I have a lot of my
Yep.
pictures and all that stuff is sent over there. I don't have to keep it all on my phone, but it's almost imperative that businesses and even everyday people, the more that we are storing and we're collecting, so we don't burn out our local machines, in real time, we could store a lot of stuff. Just again, people think of it as you have an attic, throw everything up in the attic. You forget that it's there.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
One day you climb up
Attic,
and you like,
basement,
what is
garage.
this? It's like, what is this up here? Forgot this was here. Oh, it was in your cloud.
Mhm.
Yep. 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 And that's the crazy part is that I see you mentioned PASS, pass, whatever, SAS, IS. Anyways, the
Platform as a
different,
service.
yeah, the different models will also help you kind of determine what type of
Yeah. Service
security
that you need.
service do you need. So there's different types that will help you. Okay, do you want to handle the OS system with on your side, or do you want the provider? Oh, you want the provider? Okay, let's upgrade you to pass. All right. They will manage everything except for the applications and the data. Done. The highest one is SaaS. That's where
Everything's on
um
there.
everything
Okay, yeah.
from the application down to the network. Everything is on the service provider.
Yeah, guys. I love the coffee shop example because that's really the first thing. Like you're like, oh, not just a coffee shop. Why would I need to pay Azure, Microsoft, or Google or Amazon anything just for
Mhm.
data? And then before you know it, there's this kid on the block was actually learning pen testing and to play around. He decides to act like Hoodie. You know Mr. X, Mr. X, Mr. Anonymous. And then guess whose system he's gonna try his skills on? Your system. You're the most vulnerable system. And then
Mhm.
he's gonna go like, oh, okay. Let's say if he wants to do some detective work, some spy work, he goes and buy a coffee. He looks
In
at your
your coffee
setup.
shop. In your coffee
In
Right.
shop.
your coffee shop. He looks at your
He's got a
setup.
pineapple. He's got a pineapple.
And then he sees how that little laptop is right there on the front desk. You have the computer to take the orders, and right next to it is the other computer where you run everything. Like, okay, okay. Your little card reader machines right there next to it, plugged in. And you're like, hey, are you paying cash? Are you tapping card? Whatever. Like, okay. Takes his
Did,
coffee, sits in the corner of the restaurant,
Christian, did
and
you say
then
did you say he was using the coffee shop secure password that they share with
that's where I
everybody in
was gonna
the
go. He goes to the corner, sits down, open his laptop like a good kid. We're like, oh yeah, you see, he's probably studying. Yes, he
That's
he
all
just
right.
he's reading at your password. And he's like,
Studying
wow,
you.
that's your password? Next thing you know, he's in your system. He's in that cute little laptop on the
Mhm.
front desk, right there. You don't even know it.
Mm.
And then later today, you can't get orders. Why? The system crashed. The system is down. That's what you know. But
Mhm.
later on, you're going to realize that the system was not just down. Somebody was in the system.
Mhm.
And that's when you start realizing how many personal information that you have on, or the fact that you have um customers hard information
Mhm.
on there, you know?
Mhm.
Well, thankfully
Right.
you have third parties, so those new card readers, or you don't just install the app on your computer and then that's it. So they make sure that I know some of them give that option where they have their own system running with that. So
Mhm.
not all information is going to your system. So you can't see everything. You probably can see the last four numbers or some information. But in the case where you are running everything and you was just using the cheapest thing out there or whatever, then there you go. Now the customer comes back an hour later the next day and say, hey, listen, I had $500 and disappeared after I bought a coffee from your shop. Oh, so yeah. So don't think about I don't want people to think about cloud as just paying someone to run your stuff to run your system. It's like an administration. They're doing everything for you, making sure that you're compliant, making sure that you're safe, making sure that you never one thing you never have downtime. And that's
Mhm.
one thing. As you're growing, as that shop is growing, you're getting more clients, more customers. You have more stuff going on in your system, on your server, and then you give it to a third party. Listen, uh, you can most likely that 7 days or 5 days out of 10 that you don't have to worry for your system to be down. You just don't have to, you know?
Mhm.
And unless there's something big going on and the whole region down, then you have nothing to worry about. Because I know Azure provides you can set up um your redundancy regions on to local regions or no, not local regions, local redundancy or regional redundancies. So if something goes down, Microsoft will just take everything and send it to another server running to another location so you still have access to your stuff. So that one location that you're primarily using to get access to your servers, to your environment, if it's down for whatever reason, then immediately, and you don't have to do anything about it. Immediately they will change it to the next closer location that you have access to, that you can have access to. So you don't have to worry. So yeah, it's a lot. And
Mhm.
it's more than what people think. And I believe that you even have the option to analyze data on it to how, yeah, to really go through your data directly through it. So yes, so as your stuff is up there, you can see what's going on. You can analyze it yourself, go through them, sort them out, all of that. You can manage everything. It's just that on a day-to-day basis, what needs to get done is not on you, it's on a third party.
Mhm. And that the what the example that Christian just gave is called disaster recovery, by the way. So if something were to happen to your primary system, there's a backup system that will boot up and say, "Hey, it's like nothing ever happened. There's no downtime for your business, and you're not losing money."
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the last thing you want as a business is to miss a
Oh,
day of operation and an opportunity to make money.
Mhm.
So that's where your cloud system comes in to play at,
and
especially during a disaster recovery. I'm sorry, to just okay to kick back in as long as you know you're set up and you're ready to go. It kicks back in from your last backup point, right? And it
yep,
gets you back up to speed, gets you back up to working. The coffee shop opens back up. Boom, we're good. Let's
Mhm.
keep it moving. Let's keep making coffee
you're
here.
rolling.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's one major field for someone to go right now. Also, because with everybody going there with their own servers and the the fact that you can most of these things are not being done by a million of employees that Microsoft has, you know, it's being automated. It's automated. So AI comes in it. So that low field right there is bigger than you think. So career wise also, it's a huge thing. It's a big thing. Just by knowing how to create and setting up environment is already too much. You already know too much. You know, I remember when we first did that in class, and we were having so much hard time that like setting up the VMs, creating
Yep.
resources, uh, picking locations, and all of that, and it felt so complicated that we were like, oh my god, what is this? What is that?
Setting up the
And come
account
to find
itself
out,
was difficult when we were doing it.
Yeah.
listen, oh,
There
that
was
was
there was
no,
no like, hey, this is how you do it. You know, you need
no,
and it's easy to do. That's the thing that drove me crazy. It's easy to
listen,
do, but when you don't know because you've never seen it before, and people are like,
before,
"Oh no, you're not doing it this way. You got to do it this way," so that it's easy to do. But when you got the wrong information from different people, it's hard to do.
hard to do.
And then
And believe me,
explanations, like Christian was saying, everything we were doing, explaining to us, what does this do?
that's the biggest part of it. It's like even though you can't, you see you watch a video where the person tells you where to click, and then you get it done. You
Mhm.
deploy the VM or whatever resource that you were creating, but then you don't know what you just.
Mhm.
Why did I just do that? What is
Yeah,
that? So
right.
it's a big thing, though. It's a
Yeah,
big thing.
it's
It's too
having
smart.
that extra little, okay, so we're going to set up some a firewall. Well, we all know what a firewall is, but why are we setting it up? Having that explanation would have helped us, like, okay, this is why you set this up here. Yeah, they
Yeah.
think, okay, we've done networking, we've done, okay, but that was like 8 weeks ago, and we've done so many things since. Can we get a little bit of like push? Why are we doing this way?
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, specifics were given to us. Why is it this specifically in this scenario? So these
Right.
little things make a huge difference when you're trying to learn. And this is why I go to Try Hack Me personally, because when you're doing things in there, they explain exactly why you're doing
Why are you
what you're
doing it?
doing. They'll give you the big spiel. This is what this is. Okay, now do it yourself, and this is why you did that. Congratulations, you hacked it. Congratulations, your VM's up.
Yeah.
So, oh, try hack me. So, I did want to ask a question since we were um on this whole topic of a business deciding to do this. So is it challenging to enforce specific business decisions and procedures for cloud security?
What was that? Say that again.
Is it challenging to enforce specific business decisions and procedures for cloud security? Now, this isn't the exact question I'm reading off that I said earlier. This is a little different,
Yeah.
because we didn't go over the different types of clouds, so I didn't want to get into that right now. But I will put the link for Try Hack Me on where I am stuttering below.
So is it challenging for business
Basically, it's a
to
challenge to
set up
decide, like
cloud?
as a business, hey, today's the day I want to implement Azure or AWS or Centennial
Hmm?
to my business. Is it
Oh,
easy to
is it hard?
do or is it
Um,
hard to do?
it can be, but doesn't have to. So here's the thing. It's still um the whole concept of cloud is that people heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. So it makes it harder for them to
Mhm.
understand how to and how to go about it. But the technical setup itself of if I go to Microsoft and I just do what I need to do to move half of my servers or my system to the cloud or all of it to the cloud, it's it's really a couple of clicks away, but it's just when you get there, you might get lost into okay, those are the different options that I have, but which one do I pick in
Mhm.
function of what I need, what I want,
Right.
what will work for me? So there you will be on a screen where you are reading a bunch of information, but you're not understanding everything. You're seeing keywords that match with what you have in your head, but you're not sure if you saw option one that has two keywords that match what you need. Option three has one keyword that match what you need. And now you're like, okay, I didn't see an option with all three keywords in it. So which one
Mhm.
do I pick right now? Do I really need them to run everything? Do I need to run half of it? Do I need them to just run a little bit of it? Do I need to go in a shared cloud? Do I need to be on a private one, like just me on it? Or do I go on a public one? So there's a couple of information that you need to process and you need to understand them in order for you to to go to go there to pick the right option for you. But the process itself, like choose if you know what you need, doing it is not as complicated as someone would think. Of course,
Okay.
having someone that knows how to do it makes your life 100 times more easier. And
Right.
what the person is actually doing for you is the person already has the knowledge of the options that they are offering, and with what you told them, they can just get it done for you. That
Mhm.
part, that's what you save by getting someone that knows how to do things to do it for you. But if you want to do it yourself, like an owner of the owner of the coffee shop decides to go put half of his system to the cloud, or let Microsoft run everything for him and only turn on his computer every morning and turn it off at night, then yeah, I'd say after a couple of videos and probably the first 2 months we're paying $10,000 while you could have been paying $200, then then they'll get it right.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely,
Just say it.
absolutely,
Just say
absolutely.
it.
And that's the difference from when you have these big companies and someone from the tech department says uh to the sys, listen, we need a cloud environment here. Okay, that's fine. I'll let them know. By the
Mhm.
way, what do we need exactly? Okay, well, this is what we're going to need. We need this much, or we need that much. So
Yeah.
those two are communicating a language that they understand. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
then when that sys get over to the C-suite, he or she needs to be able to articulate to them, listen, we need it. We need this other platform that's outside of the company to store all our
Mhm.
data. Well, why do you need that? And why would
Mhm.
we put ourselves outside of the company? Well, because we want to back things, we want to back up this information that we have. We need to secure this information that we have. And in case something happens here, in case there's a disaster, we need to be able to recover that information. Okay,
Mhm.
how much is this going to cost me? Well,
Oh,
because you have me, we could do it for 200. If you didn't have
yep.
me, you will probably be paying $1,000 for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, sentence right there, you only realizing that you have to pay $1,000 when it's time to pay. Because when
Exactly.
you're reading the stuff, you're like, oh, this might cost me $200. And then you click on everything. Everything is on, everything is running. You vibing. You're like, hey, every time they ask you a question, how do you run things? Cloud.
Exactly.
Yes. Everything they say, you're like, cloud. And then at the end of the month, you get the bill and you're like, hold up. How did that happen? Well, that's what Kaiwa just said.
Cloud.
Yeah.
She said this was going to cost that. Hey,
Yeah.
everything is in the cloud now.
Yep.
Everything's secure, okay? It's
Everything is a
secure.
every
Secure. Yeah, it's a tough decision, but I think that at the end of the day, the ups outweigh the downs
Oh yeah.
yeah,
when it
definitely.
comes to cloud security. And I mean, I think the overall it's easier to work with
Oh
than
yeah.
on-site, on-prem. It's just everything's at the touch of your fingers. You don't need as many people looking over it because you literally pay somebody to do that. So you need just one person to look at it every day, every other day.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
those backups are happening. Make sure there's no weird alerts that came through. Like
Yeah.
everything else, it's already handled. It's
Yeah.
being handled by the company. You're paying them to do this stuff. So it's on a side note though, if you do want to do Azure, it's only $100. I mean, there's a how many days was it, a 100-day free trial before you have to pay, or a 90-day free trial, something like that,
Uh
or $100 after that. But
yeah, so you have 30 days. Depends. Like if you're using like a personal account,
mhm,
it'll be 30 days, but you have a certain amount of money that you can use
yes,
for free. That's it right
Yes, a
there.
hundred
So
dollars.
that's where you
That's
have
what
a
I'm talking
hundred
about.
dollars that you can use that they kind of giving to you for you to try it out and see.
Hmm.
Um, try different things, run a couple of VMs, you know, use a couple of different services, and then see how much is it cost you. And you might not spend the whole hundred, you might spend the whole hundred, and then you find out why you spend the whole hundred. And they have everything for you though, where they also you don't you don't you don't have to wait the end of the month to realize that you're gonna pay $1,000. So if you set it up like like a crazy person, then they do have a feature an option where you can go and calculate everything, put every services that you picked for your environment, put in that calculator, and then it will tell you how much it's going to cost you.
Hmm.
Now, if
Okay.
you don't want to pay $1,000, you can go back, find out why you have to put them, if there's an alternative, or if one service is um include one of the feature that you were looking in the other service. So let us say that you deploy too many containers. Well, you could have one container that does everything that you needed because you don't have that many environments, you don't have that many VMs running, and then you can go and say, "Oh, okay, listen, I just need one container here. I don't need all of that. I just need two VMs, or I only need one VM." And for storage, for space, you realize that you don't need 10 terabytes because you're on cloud. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a coffee shop. Chill, my guy. You're not doing 10,000 orders a day.
Hmm.
Relax. So
Right.
yeah, and then you calculate everything, and it tells you how much it's gonna cost you, and then you can rearrange stuff, make it in your budget, and go about it.
Yes. So look into it. If you're a small business, I think I would personally highly recommend it. Just security in general, is really important when you're any type of business.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Especially with e-commerce right now, where everybody has a shop. So yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Everyone's got something right now. So
Yeah, everyone does, especially for the regulations,
yep, yep.
especially for the regulations, because
Mm-hmm.
once you are dealing with people financial information, believe it or not, you on this side of the internet that says in big letters red zone.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that you're dealing with people's money, you're on the red zone side of the internet because you are a vulnerable access to those customers people information. People see
Mm-hmm.
you as a way to get people the information. So even though you're doing something that's good for your customers and that benefits you, remember that other people see you as a way through a tunnel, a bridge, whatever you want to think.
A target.
Um, yep, right there. And you want to be safe. And because
Mm-hmm.
of that, because you're in that red zone, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the authorities
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see it happen because people don't I don't think I've ever seen any content of business owners e-commerce people talking about, oh, listen, my shop uh was pulled down because I didn't follow such and such regulatory. I was not compliant to XYZ, or something happened with the payment system that I was using because I was not
Mm-hmm.
using a good provider or software. People don't really talk about those stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
most people who are getting into the e-commerce world and decide to build their own shop, build their own websites and all that, they don't realize the amount of things that you have to deal with. It's not just um building your website and then adding your product and sell. Before you know it, you're gonna get hit by the by reality and realize
Mhm.
how big the internet is,
Yep.
how organized everything is. To a point where you might ask yourself, how do people get hacked? How do this happen? Because there's more police up there. There's police out there. So believe me. So having that provider, the cloud provider, is also a big help, a huge help in that.
Yes. So that's all I got today because I think I'm going to be long-winded if I start talking about something.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I'm going to cut myself right there. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No, not really.
No, I don't think so. I
If you
think we
wanna,
covered
if you wanna
everything.
learn, yeah, if you wanna learn cloud, try Hack Me,
Mhm.
Microsoft Learning. It's also free. Cloud,
Mhm.
Try Hack Me does have a paid version, but I believe that the fundamentals of it are free room, so you can literally start there.
Mhm.
And if you want to start paying, try Hack Me again. And Cybrary. Cybrary is a good platform too.
Mhm. So we'll include all these links down below or up above wherever you see them. And yeah, just stay safe, guys. Stay safe in person and online. This is Boss Crew signing out.